Well, hello there, friends and family. And it has been a long time since old Mr. Tom's seen you. And I hate doing videos like this. I hope you'll understand and why I haven't. But I did want to come on here tonight and talk to you. But I'm starting to see, things pop up. Or if you're okay, let us know on the community page. And there's never a good way to do this. Well, as you can see, I'm changed quite a bit. And yeah, I'm not as okay as I once was. In fact, my whole life would change. Partly for not so much the better. Back on April the 25th, and I would have a freak accident. One that you could have at any moment. Day, night, any time of your life. Regardless of your age, your abilities, mental health, or cognitive abilities, or whether you're a youngin' or a senior. It's just one of those things that can happen in a split second. And your life can change, sometimes temporarily, and sometimes from that time forward. And it can be permanent. I'm hoping my current situation is temporary. But before I get into how I got to where I'm at here on May the 11th, 2023, it all started on a peaceful April the 25th. Yep. So many days ago. And I had planned on, as I told y'all, catching up on comments, which I was, and pumping out more videos, which I was working on my fourth one, trying to do one every other day. And that's that clip I'm going to show you, so you can see how I was of April the 25th. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about how I got to where I am now. Okay, so bear with me. I'd appreciate it. Oh, well, hello there, friends and family. So good to see you again today. It's getting close to supper time, or if you fancy, dinner time. And what I'm thinking tonight is I'm thinking a fresh salad. Well, as fresh as it can be. And since I'm growing a few fresh lettuces and salad greens, the kale, and of course I got the red romaine, and I got some collard greens too, and a little bit of leftover iceberg. I was wanting something lighter tonight. And of course I got that amazing southern style Creole crab salad that I can top it with as well. So hey, I came on out to snip me off some of them fresh plants that I've been growing at peak time. See, there's two optimal times to cut your salad greens. The most optimal is in the early morning before the sun gets on them. Yep, that's a fact. Because that sun's going to beat down hard on them. And they're going to struggle to keep up. Then, the second most optimal time is after the sun gets off them. Of course, it needs to be off them a few hours so they'll recover and get all moist and tasty again. Yep, I used the word moist. Sorry for that. So that's what we're doing. We're going to be out here snipping off some of the fresh stuff to go with some of our store-bought stuff. You know, that iceberg lettuce that we've had hanging around for now 84 days. Well, as always, you can see the Panthers with me. Yep, that's Cleo. There's Spooky, sporting his nice collar. And taking the lead there is Speedy. Right, Speedy? Come on, guys. Come on, let's get some salad greens, okay? They'll come. Maybe not. Maybe they'll leave. Well, there's Spooky. And as you can see, we got plenty of kale. More than one little old man can eat. And I've got plenty of that red romaine lettuce. So, something to talk about here because it's heating up in the deep south. And you can see what that sun is doing to my romaine. You see that tip burn? That's because we're back up into the 80s. It's supposed to have been cooler this week. High 70s. but we did bump 80 today. And that's been going on for a while, and that sun, it'll burn this tender lettuce. Surely it will. Now the part that ain't burned is totally edible. You just trim that off with a pair of kitchen shears. And I happen to have a pair of shears with me. So the first thing we're going to do, and I bring out a little glass of water. Because as soon as I snip this lettuce and this kale, it's going to start losing moisture. Yeah, surely it is. So, we're going to be snipping them off, placing them in our water so they do not start to dehydrate immediately. That's just a pro tip for all of you. So let me set you up, sorta kinda, and let's get to snipping, okay? We got our scissors, and we're just going to be taking the crown of this here romaine lettuce plant right there. And we're just going to come on down here and snip it out of the center. Just like that. Get us a nice bunch. Put it over in our glass. Yep, it'll be okay. We're going to take a little bit more. We're just getting this for color. And flavor too. And we got us some more right there. That'll be enough red, don't you think? So you can see, we got it down in the water. Now we'll wash it off too when we get to the house. But now we need some kale. And this is all going to be mixed in with our iceberg. Now, if the season was cooler, these will actually grow back out from this center stem. And you will let it grow back out and cut it off again. But here where I'm at, it's getting to that point where it's just going to burn right up. And you can see Cleo there, she's checking it out, making sure I'm doing it right. Spooky, he's just protecting my flank. So anyway, we got to get some kale. We got plenty here. So let's get us some of this kale. And you start down at the bottom. Now, yep, you can snap it off. But I prefer to cut it. Nice clean cut there. And we're just going to stick it over here. Shake it off a little. It's got some of them oak blossoms. We'll just stick it on in that glass. And we're just going to go around this kale with the lower leaves, and we're just going to get some of them. Doesn't take a whole lot. If you look up under there, you can see I've been doing this before. This curly kale actually the curly kale, it don't take a whole lot of it before you have a mess. So there we have it. We got our red romaine in there, just a little bit, give it some color. We've got our kale in there, and it's all going to stay fresh now. We got us a lettuce and greens bouquet. So let's get this on in the house. And there's old Mr. Gray out there too. Spooky, everybody's here. So I've got my kale and red romaine lettuce bouquet here. We're going to take it on in. We got to wash it up. Yep, we will. You know how to wash your greens, right? And then we're going to start, once again, slicing and dicing and chopping both of these and the iceberg. Probably throw in some celery, I'm thinking. Yeah, some onion. Hey, maybe some black olives too. I like those. What about y'all? Hey, you gotta have cheese, right? Yeah, surely you do. Woo! I'm already getting hungry. And folks, especially us old seniors, of course everybody, you gotta eat more of your greens. So let's get her done, okay? Well, the clip you just saw was of me, April the 25th, right before my freak accident would take place. And had I remained indoors after I cut that kale and romaine lettuce for my evening meal, I wouldn't be sitting here looking at you like I am now. But I didn't do that. We had another storm coming. That was on a Tuesday of April 25th. We had more storms coming in on Wednesday and Thursday. And I wanted to finish mowing the grass. So I put that kale and romaine in the fridge. Came back out and figured I'd mow till just before dark. But there was a couple more limbs to pick up. There always is. So I went to pick them up. And I was in a hurry. And you shouldn't be in a hurry, but we all are many times in our life, whether we're young or old. And I wasn't paying close attention, and I was picking up a couple of sticks, reaching over. I went to walk forward, and another stick was in the grass. It touched my foot went under it, and I fell. And when I fell right here on my left side with all my body weight in forward motion. And to make matters worse, there was two little tiny stumps from where we had cut brush down. Last year I hired 2 men to help me, and their instructions were when they cut the brush down around trees in the yard that they'd cut them flush to the ground. And they did for the most part, except on that fateful day where I would fall and these 2 stabs sticking up about 4 inches high and about that big around. I fell straight on them, just below my arm, on my rib cage, which would bust my ribs, puncture my left lung, which would collapse, and there it would be. Freak accident. I didn't lose balance. I tripped. And I tripped because of a limb. Could have happened at any time in my life. Yes, I was in a hurry. Yes, I was tired. I should have went on in, just fixed my dinner. Yes, I should have done a lot of things. One of which is I'm not that damn old to not be able to take care of my place. It was a freak accident. And I say that because so many kind people that have been so worried for me during the course of this event, both at the hospital, the doctors that have cared for me, all the wonderful nurses, my children, my grandchildren, which I have a new addition that I will tell you at the end of this video. So not everything in life is bad. You know, sometimes out with the old, in comes the new. But I'm not ready to go out yet. But I would trip those stabs, as I call them, or stumps, poked through my rib cage, punctured my lung, lacerated my left lung, and of course it collapsed. Now, I would lay there a while and contemplate life, and at that point it still didn't really hurt as much as it was going to hurt in the coming hours. But I got up, I looked at it, and I thought, well, maybe it just knocked the air out of me. I didn't see no damage, excuse me, right at that moment. No. But about 30 minutes later, in the bathroom, I could see I'd done some damage. The bruise was starting to show. So I decided, since I was all dirty, sweaty, and all that, and, you know, you can't go to the hospital that way, that I'd jump in the shower, take a shower real quick, see how I felt, you know, get that warm water running on me, and see how I felt, make a decision then. Well, by this point, my lung had collapsed and I was really struggling to breathe. And as all of you know, I already have COPD. Mild, moderate. So I made the decision to grab my wallet, my keys, and drive myself to the ER. And yes, I did drive. And I've been gotten on to by my kids and friends and certain members of the family that that wasn't too wise. Well, here's the thing. The last time I called 911, I'm not saying anything bad, it took about 35 minutes, and here's the fact, we only got 1 or 2 ambulances. For a city of, a little over 5,000 and the surrounding county of much more. So what were the chances that ambulance was going to be there waiting on old Mr. Tom? Well, as I drove by where the ambulances are, you have to excuse me, somebody's calling. And we'll have to get back to him here in a minute, because I'm going to sit here and continue to talk to you, my friends and family, and as soon as I'm done, I'll answer that call. But as I rode by where the ambulances normally are parked, there wouldn't be any ambulances there to come get Mr. Tom. So the decision to drive to the ER was a good one. Yeah, I was taking a risk. I could have passed out. I could have done a lot of things, but it didn't happen. And I got to the hospital. I actually made it. I had to stop twice to rest from the truck to the ER waiting room, but I got to the ER waiting room where I would eventually go down into the floor and everybody would rush in to take care of me. And that's where we would go from there and be put into ER for evaluation, which at some point in time came up to be, that I had punctured my lung, lacerated, punctured, and it had collapsed. And they would have to put in tubes, or these pipes, into my chest cavity because the lung was leaking air, which was causing it where I couldn't expand my lungs. I never went on, I wasn't intubated. I was put on oxygen, and they did do surgery to put those pipes in my chest. They had a surgeon come in to do it. And I'm not going to go into all the specifics right now, but he was an amazing doctor, came in, got her done. There was the ER doctor right there with me, a full staff of amazing ER nurses and technicians and respiratory therapists. And from that point forward, even through the next 7 days that I would remain in the hospital, I would actually get out this past Tuesday, this being Sunday. I think it was the 2nd I got out. Yeah. Tuesday night. I actually went in, and a week later got out, pretty much about the same time I went in. And I was released. And I put on oxygen here for home care because my oxygen level, because my lung has got to heal. It's, it's got to heal back, hopefully, to pretty much the way it was. I already know, because this is my 4th chest injury over my lifetime, that it'll never be perfect and it'll never be back to what it was prior to being punctured and collapsed. There will be scar tissue. We've talked that over with the surgeons and doctors. And I know all that from past injuries. But I would like to take a moment right now just to thank those doctors, and they know who they are, all those amazing nurses, and they were all types, and we don't appreciate them. And I drove myself to our, it's small, it's a community hospital. In fact, that's the name of it, community hospital. And they did amazing work. And I'm so thankful we have them here in our small town. They catch a lot of crap from people. Yeah, maybe they can't do everything, but they can be that step that saves your life. And I know they saved mine. And I'm forever grateful. And they have an amazing staff there of CNAs, medical technicians, respiratory therapists, radiologists, RNs. I mean, I can't even name them all. And they all gave me excellent care and treated me just like they say we treat you like family. A lot of them knew me, and that's what counts. You'll never get any better care that they can give you and have the ability to give you than you will your local community hospital, because they know you. And like I say, maybe they can't do everything, but they can do the things to get you to where someplace where they can. And I chose not to be transferred. I chose to stay there with my friends and family caring for me. And I couldn't have asked for better treatment. I really couldn't have. And people always complain about the food. Yeah, the food's going to be a little bland. It's got to be. You're there healing up. You're not at the Ritz-Carlton. But I'll tell you what, I was on the regular diet, and the food was not that darn bad. In fact, most of it was pretty darn tasty. As I told friends and family that would call while I was there recuperating in the hospital. And this past Sunday, not this Sunday, but this past Sunday, while I was in the hospital still, we had an amazing event happen in the family. Yep, I was down and out, but I would have the birth of my second grandson. Yep, my son's first child. James him and his wife Kayla would have a baby boy, 7 pounds, 14 ounces. And they would name him Thomas Rayland. Thomas after me, his grandpa. And I'm so honored. But I got to thank my son James, because during all of this, his wife in the hospital, in labor, he has his business he had to run. He works 12-hour days at his business. He was running back and forth, taking care of Gracie, the kitty crew, working 12 hours, had his own home with his wife at Baptist East Hospital. He was going like a madman. And because of him, we made it through it. And I'm forever thankful to my son and my daughter, who came down to be here and make sure I was being treated right in the hospital, which there was no doubt. Like I say, I can't even say you could have any better treatment than what I did. I've been in a lot of hospitals, and I've had as good, but I've never had any better. They got all the support from me that I could ever give them. If I had any money, I definitely would give some to them. And after all this, you know, I'm going to be giving them some, I'm sure. But this is why I haven't made a video. And I don't need nothing. I got everything I need. My son and daughter have made sure I've got everything I need here at the house. My daughter overdid it and made sure I got all kinds of food that I can easily prepare. She'll be back. Not tomorrow, which is Monday, but she'll be back the next day for a couple of days to stay with me and help me do some things around the house and take care of me. And I'm able to do the small things and care for myself. And that will lead to quicker healing. You got to get up. You got to get out of that bed. And you got to get going on. And hey, I'll be the first to tell you. Pardon my language, ladies, but it hurts like hell. But that's all part of the healing process. And yeah, I got pain pills, but I only got so many. And I'm holding them back for when I just can't take it no more. I got my little Gracie here. She's right here with me. Aren't you, Gracie? She surely is, here with me in the den. Aren't you, baby? Come here. She missed me so much. In fact, it took a day or two for her to realize that I was Papa, because Papa's got a new addition, you know. And I've got an oxygen concentrator here with enough hose to go all around the place, but you got to be careful. You see, it was a trip and a fall that put me where I'm at. And all that hose can do it too. Now I got bottles for when I leave the house. So I'm all good. But this ain't about sympathy. It ain't feeling sorry for old Mr. Tom. He's gonna make it. Like I told my grandson, which was another plus, my grandson Davey. I hadn't spent a lot of time with my grandson Davey since 2019. And you know, he came down with his mama. He was real worried. And he was here with me to spend 2 days with me. You know, before they had to leave to go back up. They got a life, they got doctor's appointments, they got things to do. And I assured them I'd be just fine. And I have been. I feed the kitties. You got to be ambulatory, or you're never going to heal. And you can't be afraid that you'll fall again. Otherwise, you might as well just sit down in a chair and give up on life. And I'm not ready for that yet. Now, I can't run my mouth much more because my oxygen gets lower when you talk. I just wanted to come on here tonight and tell you what happened, just a little bit. There'll be more to come in the future. I'm going to try to remember to put a picture at the end of the video of my new grandson, Thomas Raven. And I want to wish all of y'all, be careful, be safe, and may you be blessed by God as you bless others. And don't worry about the old man. I still ain't opened up that can of whoop ass yet. It's still in the back pocket. We'll be all right in time. So until Gracie, which is playing with me down here, see? Aren't you, Gracie? Yeah, you're getting your papa. You're getting your papa. As you can see, she's loving her papa. And, you know, the kitty crew. You know them all. Cleo, Spooky, Speedy, and old Mr. Gray. See y'all on that next video. Y'all take care. Stay safe, and God bless you as you bless those in your life. Goodbye for now. Well, Grayson, you want to play? You want to play? You want to play? You want to play with your papa? You do. You're just so happy, aren't you? You're a happy kitty. You are happy kitty. You don't bite. You just give love nipples. You give love nipples. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Oh, later, all that was just me and Gracie playing. Until next time, goodbye for now.